So is it too late to make a living on YouTube now? Now considering I quit my 6-digit figure job last year to do YouTube full time, I think I've become an expert on this subject matter. And I'm gonna share with you my experiences along the way. Let's do this. What's up, y'all? Joe Master Lee here, inspiring all you YouTubers to level up like a boss. Is it a good idea to quit your job to make a living from YouTube? And the answer is, it's a lot harder now than it used to be. All right, so here's the reality, you all. Based on a number of articles and studies that have been out there, and also based on my experiences as well, you will be earning less than $15,000 a year if you're able to monetize about 1 million views a month. So if you're a new YouTuber and you think about how big that number is and you feel like, well, that feels very daunting, well, it is very daunting, but it is doable. And in fact, I was able to reach about 1 million views a month within about 6 months on YouTube, which means that I'm already generating between $1,000 to $2,000 every single month. In fact, this first year on YouTube, I'm able to generate over $20,000 on YouTube, which on its own sounds remarkable, but you have to realize that this is not a sustainable career if I just coast at that amount. To put that into perspective, a college student today that gets his first job is already making over $50,000 a year. In fact, the average salary in America today is between $48,000 and $62,000 a year, which means I'm only about halfway there. Now, realistically, I would say I could get to about that average within another 2 years, which means that you're gonna spend about 3 years earning income that is far below the threshold of what the average is. And depending where you are in the world, that means you really have to be very entrepreneurial and save money and dramatically limit your budget, or that still means that you have to keep a part-time job in order to do YouTube on the side. Now, I did YouTube full-time, which means I was able to get there faster. Once you do YouTube part-time, expect the amount of time for you to be able to do this to double. And the thing what makes this even more challenging is for you to be able to make YouTube a sustainable career, you have to walk a very narrow path of what is possible to make it happen on YouTube. You have to think about which content categories allow you to make enough money. You have to find a way to level up your thumbnails, your titles, your content very quickly. And you have to find a way to recruit a lot of your own followers for at least the first 1,000 or so subscribers. I mean, to make it even tougher, quite frankly, is that treating YouTube as passive income when you're a small YouTuber, quite frankly, there's very little upside. What I found out is that if I stop posting for a couple week period, the amount of views and the amount of money that I generate dramatically drops. In other words, you have to be a massive YouTuber. I would say at least 500,000 to 1 million plus subscribers to be able to take a long break from YouTube and still have the income come in enough to be able to pay the bills. Because for passive income to work, you need to have enough content up there for you to promote. You need to have this content be perennial all year round so that no matter when you watch it, it's still relevant and it's still trending. And this content has to be monetizable. Let's talk about the niches now that had at one point been very popular on YouTube that are now actually very difficult to make a living on. I'm talking about edgy content, right? Things like pranks, conspiracy theories, and even if you aren't one of those wackos who pushed it to the extreme, the reality is a lot of that content today is demonetized and dramatically limited in terms of distribution it gets. If you're making kid-oriented content, well, being COPPA compliant meant that pretty much all YouTubers making kid content today had their income cut in half. New YouTubers and big YouTubers alike. Well, if you do a reaction channel, copyright strikes, copyright claims now are highly problematic, dramatically limiting the amount of income you can earn. That includes people who just do cover songs as well. Not only does YouTube take a cut of your revenue, but the original song creators can just instantly come in and take a piece of that as well. And what about gaming content? Well, there's so many gaming channels out there today that the competition has basically made it nearly impossible for anyone to start off from scratch today in that category. And let's say you're a YouTuber that covers a lot of international content, whether it's travel or other things from, say, your homeland that isn't in the United States or in one of those countries that generates great CPMs. You will have a difficult time making a lot of money on YouTube because there's a huge delta between countries that have great CPMs, like the United States, a lot of Euro countries, and countries that have very poor CPMs. The bar to actually start making money as a new YouTuber is now higher as well. We already know about how YouTube has the 4,000 hours minimum threshold before you can monetize, but there's also a bunch of other things that they've removed that, hacks, if you will, that a lot of new YouTubers are trying to take advantage of. Things like checking for fake accounts, dramatically limiting the amount of sensationalized content you can create, and even prohibiting sub for subs. Now, I think that's a good thing. All these features actually benefit the ecosystem, but these were growth hacks that were actually working before that no longer exist. So New YouTubers don't even have that option. All right, y'all, I hope this video was helpful and useful for you all. And make sure you subscribe because I'm all about sharing with you what it takes to make a living here on YouTube, how to make some good money. In fact, if this video gets enough views and likes, I will make a video on how realistic is it to become a YouTube millionaire, because that was my dream. I still had this idea based off of my experience and based on what I know that I had a much better chance of becoming a YouTube millionaire. Well, I'm gonna share with you what I think is realistic at this point. All right, y'all, peace out.